pick-wise, which
Right.
is not the spot you ever want to be in on draft. Petal is going to be the option.
Ooh, okay.
So CP Vox looking more and more likely, I suppose.
Yeah, if Cloud9 does not run CP Vox here, they are up to something different.
I would absolutely love to see Cloud9 grab the Catherine, have it be a weapon glaive coming out of the jungle, Crystal Vox, and the Catherine on Gabe Vizzle.
How does Catherine fare into the Petal? Obviously against Kestrel fairly solid, but Petal, kind of like Sky, small increments of damage, doesn't necessarily proc the Stormguard.
It's not quite as strong as other picks, obviously, but you do still have the big silence, which can keep Petal from being able to have the mobility, which is a key if that's able to hit. And if you have the Crystal Vox, you're killing those minions so quickly that the Petal could potentially become a non-factor.
Weapon Taka got a buff, and Weapon Taka can solo Kestrel in the back line while CP Vox.
I would be so iffy about picking up a Taka against the Petal, though.
Yeah, but all they have to do, though, in their win condition is to put Kestrel out of position and then just blow her up. And then if Petal or Lance tries to get on top of Kestrel, CP Vox will just be able to do a lot of AoE damage. So it's a safe pick here. Samuel doesn't win against Petal early, but definitely wins against Petal late.
And this does kind of imply that we might be seeing the Weapon Vox.
Yes.
Obviously, Samuel can also AoE down those minions with his Malice and Verdict later on into the game. So there's a way for that.
Final week of the split. Gankstars versus Cloud9 to decide who goes forward to day 2 here for God.
It's going to, come down to this. This is for all the marbles. This is for the win, and this is for perhaps, trying to chase down the lead that TSM has made for themselves here this split. Since the points do carry over, you gotta fight tooth and nail for everything that you can, right down to the very last game.
Certainly will, and we're going to see Joseph lock in his 12th unique pick so far during the split. He's played a huge range of heroes. So has Xenotech as well. It's just so great to see, these junglers coming in and just giving us so much variety.
But I love Joseph. Yeah, this is, as you said, 12th unique pick. This is his first Samuel. I don't really have, how many times Samuel has been successful just right off the bat, but I feel like he kind of faded out a little bit. There's definitely a little bit of a point where we started playing him more, but he's just been overshadowed by so many more of these other picks that I'm almost surprised to see him here.
Why is that?
He just doesn't feel like the early game stuff, which is where a lot of games have been decided, would be where you take a Samuel into it. Like, level 2 is great, but the level 1 invades have almost decided matches today.
Well, look at this. Old school knocked up against the wall. The glimmer shot's coming out. He's able to get a bit of distance between him and Araki Zoro, so we'll be able to escape. I really like this draft coming out of Gankstars, I have to say. We saw Araki Zoro on that, Kestrel. We saw, of course, Xenotech on Petal, and they just had such a dominant game, able to really take aggro and then give it to each other, take the brunt of the force from Cloud9. Now we got wrecked on this Lance, which will be a huge front line for the team. I feel like Cloud9, they kind of got their backs against the wall a little bit as far as the previous game goes. Now we're going to have to make this Samuel Glaive work for themselves.
The other big thing that I think moving forward Cloud9 has to do is they need to be very quick and decisive on their kills. Like, once they commit, they gotta make sure they get that kill, because when it comes to a sustain war between Rekt and Xenotech, I think that between the two of them, they can really keep this team going. We have a roam glaive here, right? Vox isn't going to be building into any kind of lifesteal whatsoever. Joseph is a little bit more against the norm on that, but there's so much just ways to trip up the engage here from Gankstars. There's so many ways for these guys to sustain, and Rekt is going to become just a massive guy. You said it yourself, that front line by the end of it all. So Cloud9 need to use this pick on Gabe Vizzle to get swift, decisive kills and try to snowball the game that way.
I guess the benefit of, utility glaive in the captain role is there is a lot of peel as well for Cloud9. Joseph needs to be on point with his positioning with the Samuel. That's usually the downfall of Samuels we've seen so far in competitive, is that they get caught out, right? The Drifting Dark does provide a bit of zone potential as well as a bit of healing. The Malice and Verdict certainly do a lot of damage if you chase down, and Frostburn can be a great first item just to provide a bit of distance. But you do have Gabe Vizzle there on the Glaive Captain, so the Afterburns can come forward just to buy a bit of space.
But it's also just, Gabe is on this captain, or he's not going to be building into cooldown reduction. At least not a heavy amount of it. He might have an hourglass here or there, but you're going to have to also be very on point with, again, the afterburns, right? So either offensively or defensively, because we're talking about Peel in this regard, he's not going to be able to rapid fire them off. He might have that Crucible, he might have that Fountain, he might have the War Treads, but when it comes to the afterburn's, he's going to have to be very conscientious about when to use them.
And let's flip the tables over to Gankstars here. You know, they've got this Lance pick that we saw in Game 1 wasn't as influential, but, you know, this Kestrel weapon power, CP Petal, of course, in the jungle, and they just dominated the previous game. It was a perfect game for Court, 16-0, just completely choked out Cloud9. Very impressive stuff from this team. Now going into this game here, it may be a slow start, but we've seen this before from both these teams.
Few first items to come through as Gavizo has himself the Fountain. Old School's into that breaking point, so likely to see 2 more monocles from there. But and first point there for Joseph as well. So they all rotate up. They're not going to find any kind of fights simply because we're now rotating down here from Gankstars. So we're going to see similar spikes going through. But yeah, the mentality has to stay strong all the way down to the last game. Cloud9, if they go on tilt, and you mentioned it before, they seem to do this. Then this game is already wrapped up for Gankstars, so I'm hoping that their mentality is strong enough to bring forth their best efforts.
Have to see here as they gonna get locked
they
down.
got
It's gonna be Gabe Vizzle in trouble. Fountain, not enough to keep him alive, and Xenotech on form, able to find that first blood once more for his team. Now Cloud9 forced under their turret. Gankstars able to push on up, and you know, Xenotech's been that consistent member for Gankstars across this series.
He has. He's a consistent player. He delivers when he needs to. Very rarely do you ever see him kind of go on tilt unless he's streaming, but then again, you know, there's an entertainment factor, right? This is a closed, contained space. These guys are all in a team house as well, one of the only organizations in Vainglory actually to have one, so their communication is greater, at least afforded to them a little bit than some of the other teams out here. So I really do think, like, you know, putting these guys together in that team, taking up Xenotech into the brand has really done wonders for Gankstars. But Iraqi Zoro also, you know, he just came back from Europe. He was on the Europe side of things. Now he's back here domestic. It's got to feel good to be representing, you know, your region again. And he as well has just been a little shaky at times, but solid pretty much, you know, I'd say, what, 80% easy.
I feel like Iraqi has kind of scaled up a little bit as far as the season has gone, and now he's hitting this point. He's got this weapon power Kestrel. It's the first time we see it out of him. And he's just finding the auto attacks. He's finding the damage. He's just been so influential in finding that. Now Cloud9, they're going to try and defend their jungle. Able to find that last hit. Gabe Vizzle trying to get aggressive. Uses the boots to get a bit of distance. May look for the knockback onto one. And yeah, it's going to be Iraqi Zoro.
Oh,
he gets the stealth, but can he get away? Here comes the Oblivion. It locks down Xeno. But Cloud9 are losing their lives. There's no way they find the kills here. Xenotech blows them up, pushes them away, and everyone disengages.
Iraqi was really kind of on the line at that point, but he got the stealth off. Without that, would have been a very dead Kestrel, but he did get it saved. Wrecked, able to just kind of play interference here again with the team, and then, you know, Xenotech was really delivering a lot of damage. We did have quite a few glimmers. Okay, Old School, just take that to the face. But I mean, they recovered. Gankstars recovered. They did not succumb to that one. Now they're taking the gold mine after hitting Old School. You know, he's not coming down to check it. So this is actually a really nice response out of a very perilous situation that we just had.
I love this jungle dominance, and you know, I don't know who to attribute it to on Gankstars, but we see this from them. We saw this in Game 1, that they, you know, Cloud9 took a turret, so Gankstars took a gold miner in response. They just got really great understanding of when they can push for those objectives, and you see it right there. A one shot onto Old School chunks him down to less than a fourth of HP. An easy gold miner to take now. So that's gold swinging over to Gankstars. They're now up by 2,000 with just a singular kill. They didn't even have to fight for that gold miner. Just really incredible play.
And they've just been farming this entire time. Iraqi Zoro into the jungle back here, looking to just shore up a few of his numbers, get some ambient gold perhaps. The numbers are actually very even to the laners. Old School loves this Vox. He's played more Vox this split than any other hero out there, but wow, all right.
Cloud9 kind of just committing to the turret. They're going to get knocked against the wall. Maybe they bit off more than they can chew. Wrecked, taking damage, but Old School's the target for Xenotech. Xenotech, the one shot, that's going to land. Blocked up by Gabe Vizzle, but Old School gets rooted. No, it's Joseph. Old School, though, glimmer shot to the face, and Iraqi going to tear it off. Now, what can Gankstars take from this? A lot of damage across the board. Joseph not looking so healthy. Gabe Vizzle, you know, healing up, but very hard. this Glaive to do
Oh,
much. Now
Xeno.
Xenotech's looking for Joseph. He's not going to find the kill, but he is buying space for his team. Those minions going to start tanking up the turret, and that is going to be the turret falling. A 3,000 gold lead here for Gankstars.
I was a little afraid that when Rekt went in as quick as he did, that he's just going to get chunked out, and then from there, Cloud9 was just going to kind of sweep up the turret, but he held. He didn't go down. Xenotech was there. Rakizoro eventually joined the fray, and Xeno was actually on the tail end of the first infusion of the game. Now he's bought his second. Rakizoro is going to join him in that venture. You can already see Joseph rocking his first one there as well. Lance even to bring one forward. Gankstars know that they have an advantage here. They've been able to survive 2 team fights. They didn't die. They get the 2 kills. Now they're looking for more.
See what they can find is it's going to be Old School having to run away here. Gabe Bizzle's looking for the re-engage. Going to be the fountain coming out of Rekt to keep everyone healthy, but Joseph goes extremely low. Oblivion to try and buy space, but the one shot going to connect nonetheless. You can't run from that. That's going to be Gankstars finding their first. Looking for a second here. Rekt currently looking for Old School as Xenotech tries to blow up Gabe Bizzle. Won't find the damage though. But Gankstars with an early lead for themselves are just looking to push it even further. Once more, Cloud9, they fall behind in the early game, facilitated from some great rotational play from Gankstars, some great macro play as far as how they can find gold. And now Cloud9 are on the back foot, and this is where they falter.
I'm not entirely too sure who's the biggest threat in Gankstars right now, because Xenotech early on, a lot of these Munions are living, doing the damage. He has that Prosper, now a Shattered Glass to go with that. He is definitely looking big, but at the same time, Rakizoro sitting into 2 item, now going to be building into the crit. And I'm not entirely too sure that the Cloud9 situation is really, ready for that kind of damage split. It's not like we have a utility, a captain, and then that laner. No, these are actually 2 very viable sources of damage, and Gankstars is really just juggling out who's the bigger threat right now, and they've also been living. Like, if you jump one, the other kind of steps in. Interference, Rekt has been doing really good jobs just trying to play interference between Cloud9 and their kills. And at the same time, it's just like, okay, so we're going to swap to the other carry, and then you trampoline away or use the active combo, and they're just dancing away. They're not clean team fights here, Dowsy, but Gankstars are dancing very well around the Cloud9, just everything. They've defeated every attempt at a kill.
Yeah, well, that's it. You say it's not clean, but they haven't given up a kill here. They're only going forward at the moment for court. Another gold miner here taken by Gankstars, and the choke has begun. 7,000, 6,000 perhaps in the lead here for Gankstars. And, the desk said that Cloud9, they have some really good late game in the form of Vox, in the form of Samuel, but if last game was anything to take from, they're not going to find that late game.
No, absolutely not. Samuel does bring a good amount of AoE to the comp, but he's also still on 1 item.
Gankstars looking for the engage here. That Crystal Sentry has been minion candied up. It's going to do a lot of damage. Cloud9 looking to try and play around it, but a good active camera going to hold them at bay, keep them nice and low. Exactly what Gankstars want as they just walk themselves out of the jungle. Good respect though. Respecting the minion candy from the crystals on the Crystal Sentry does mean the Crystal Sentry will lose its life as Cloud9 just not healthy enough to really defend it.
No, and that was just absolutely the right response here from Gankstars. They realized they were in too deep. Their initial combo didn't quite hit the mark. They brought down Old School low, but it wasn't a kill. And with that, candied up monster, like, he's on a sugar craze. He's looking for blood. So that exit, genius, perfect. Might not be a kill, but they did actually take down the sentry. Now, again, you look at Rekt over here, right? He's starting up this train. They're looking for the steal. We did just go shopping here as well. And again, I touched on it just very briefly. Cloud9, that money difference, we just hit 2 items at 13 minutes here for I Love Joseph. Old School's doing a bit better. He's at 2.5. He's also starting to tank up, but the pure raw damage output that Gankstars is forcing on top of Cloud9 is starting to become overwhelming.
Not only that, we're only a minute and a half until the Kraken spawns, and that's kind of when Cloud9 needs to be ready for a fight, because they're going to be forced into defending the Kraken, or, forced into defending their base when the Kraken starts hitting their turrets. So they're on a time clock here. It's ticking away. The gold just continuously being stolen away from them. Old School pushing up. He's in full vision here. A contraption going to come out for Gabe Bizzle to try and, get a bit of vision for his team.
There's another reason on that one, Dowsy, and I might have to get into it after this, depending on what Rekt does, but Gabe Bizzle can put those traps at his feet, and they can blow up on top of Munyon.
Okay. Okay, I see that. Yeah, so a bit of extra damage, I guess, in fights.
Maybe.
Vision also really important. Gabe Vizzle goes to block, but no need to block it, so won't take any damage from that one shot. Currently, Gankstars just setting up. It's 40 seconds till this Kraken spawns. You know, Cloud9 knows it. Gankstars know it. That's why they've set up this, you know,
Look at the minefield.
seed war. Yeah, seed
This
war.
is the line you may not cross.
And that's going to be the payout going out once more. They push their lead to about 8,000 now here. Gankstars really just styling over Cloud9, and we're only 30 seconds away from this Kraken. Crystal
3 out in
Sentry
Kestrel.
for this live out.
3 out in Kestrel,
they're
lots of
going in.
infusions.
Aggression. Gabe Vizzle trying to find a fight. Gankstars looking to just turn this trampoline away. Oblivion goes out, actually puts 2 to sleep. Araki Zoro locked up. Araki Zoro gets away, though. Can he survive is the question, as he's now laying down the damage. Wrecked just being the front line that his team needs, and Old School's trying to get onto Xenotech. He will find the kill. Can he find a second is the question. He will. A double comes out for Old School, and Wrecked running away from Joseph. What a great fight for them. Just able to find damage despite being so far behind. The Kraken spawns. Wrecked will fall. What will Cloud9 do?
Big misstep right there from Gankstars. They might have gotten the gold mine, but the Crystal Sentry doing work. That sleep was huge. Kept Rex so far away from his team on that one. So, signs of life. Cloud9, perhaps not tilted after all. Maybe they just needed to wait, because I Love Joseph, 2 items. This is the first fight we got to see him on it. Gabe Vizzle is actually tanked up. Didn't actually get to check out how many of those scout traps went down during that fight, but, I mean, Gabe Vizzle, not only is it going to be that vision, but again, I really do feel...
Wow.
It could be great for the Munions. But Old School, again, I really feel like even though his team is behind, he's sitting at 2.5 items, and he's tanked up, and he was able to make the damage happen.
Yeah, he was. Wow, okay. That was weapon power Kestrel, Volkov.
700 damage, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so, Kraken, she's still here. What do we got on the board? Infusions purchased up by Gankstars, all there. Ready and fresh. Gankstars looking for Gabe Vizzle, but he's able to dodge away from the Impale. That second Torrent's Monocle has been purchased by Old School, a really important item there for this box.
He's full offensive now.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight that Cloud9 may feel a little bit more happier to take. We'll see.
Well, a little bit of a ward was in that bush because we had a seed. And as soon as Old School killed it, they knew that he was kind of a little bit more out of position. Not entirely too sure if that was a bait or not, but I mean, Gankstars are still very much ahead, but Cloud9 got to be very careful on this engage.
They're in a position where they can look for a fight. After their last win, with that second Tyrant Monocle being purchased, they still got a Crystal Sentry. There is still life, I guess, in Cloud9's lungs. Hasn't quite been squished out just yet, but here comes Gankstars looking to engage onto I Love Joseph. It's going to be Gabe Vizzle taking a lot of damage. That Treant goes over to Joseph just for the extra healing. Now they're going to round back up and look for a bit of a return fire. Yeah, there's another Treant, another bit of healing goes over to Joseph. It's Cloud9 making sure that they're nice and healthy. At this 17.5-minute mark, look at where the minion wave is. It's crashing into this choke point turret, just ticking away at it. Means that Cloud9 do have to respect the damage, and they're actually going to recall.
They know.
Gabe Vizzle goes in! Is a bit too aggressive. He's forced to use his wall treads to escape. That's going to be the sentry eliminated. Old School, he's in the lane, he's clearing the wave. What do Gankstars do? They're just going to go...
Gankstars saw that back. They saw Old School going back, and as soon as they saw Gabe Vizzle kind of like walking towards him, and then Old School was just out of there, they knew. They turned, and that's what Gabe Vizzle had to do to burn boots to get on out of that one, because whew, that was a potentially game-losing situation right there. So I think that Gankstars, seeing that, being passive, waiting for the observation, and then finding that pick, they reacted to that very well. But yeah, Cloud9, just we can't have that level of terribleness to hit them this late in the game.
Okay, yeah. No, I guess the miscommunication, definitely not something you can afford, especially when you're going up against one of the top teams in America here. You know, Cloud9, they were kind of written as the dream team of all-stars. Haven't quite been able to find this success just yet. Perhaps that deserves a title such as that. Against the seeded, ranked 2 team in North America. If they can take this series, that actually hurts Gankstars' standings quite a lot. Cloud9 may be able to push up forward a little bit. I have to say,
a little bit of a deadlock here.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Gankstars showing respect, though. You know, I feel like any other team may have gone for an aggressive play because they've been so far ahead. You know, let's not forget they're 8,000 gold ahead at this point, forecourt. but Gankstars are recognizing the strength that Cloud9 has, and they just do not want to give anything away. But now aggressive plays come forward. Old School going on in, stunned up against the wall. What can they do? That's going to be the first kill going his way, though, as he finds Araki caught out. Now Rek taking huge damage as Xenotech trying to trade it on back, but it's going to be a double. Will be a triple for Old School. No, but it is an ace because Joseph able to land that killing blow. Maybe a look too much respect, maybe too much time given. Cloud9 looking to take the Kraken.
Uh-oh. This is all of a sudden looking pretty dire from Gankstars. They did take their time on that one. Like, they even got that Crystal Sentry eliminated, and it was all about looking for that pick. And they nearly had it on top of Joseph. They brought him down real low in that fight, but they could not quite find that impale. Then Rek got slept again in the middle of everything. And that is not, like, I'm pretty sure that's the worst person you could have sleeping on your team. It's going to be your captain, because he's holding all those defensive cards in his inventory.
Yeah, no, definitely not the,
Wow, Gabe.
the prime target. I think we've seen it before. That was pretty close.
Cool.
You know, we've seen it before. Captains, you know, items silenced out in other series gone past it. A while ago was the influential mark that a team needed to take a victory. When you put that captain to sleep, there's just no fountains coming forward. There's no crucibles coming forward. The only Atlas Pauldron is on Rekt. And, you know, Gold School wasn't able to be attack slowed. Now Cloud9 pushing in here, looking to try and finish it off. Old School up against the wall. Xenotech laying down a bit of hurt onto Old School. A lot of hurt in fact, but this turret is falling. Gabe Bizzle looking to find Rekt, knocks him up against. Here's a good impale though, onto Joseph. What can Gankstars do? Getting Joseph going extremely low. The fountain goes out. The Oblivion will be blocked up, and now Gankstars are looking to try and find the fight. The first goes their way. The second onto Araki finds Joseph, and that just leaves Gabe Bizzle rooted and locked up. A triple for Araki Zoro. When he doesn't get taken down, he dominates.
Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure Rekt, he has himself a light shield there in his inventory. That's going to go right into a reflex, into an Aegis by the end of it all. He absolutely needs it at this point. That fight could have, again, gone just so very different had that Oblivion actually landed. But finally, you know, a little bit of luck here for Gankstars. They block it out. Rek wasn't in position there for it. Does not get hit. Now they're counter pushing. Rek's going to tank this up. Rek is going to just bring that turret down. At the same time, Xenotech's going to take out the Kraken. Like, they don't actually need Xenotech back here, but they want to try to stem the damage it does to that one turret. There's absolutely no way the Kraken would have won right there. But, you know, Gankstars just, perhaps now they found their footing. Perhaps now they've kind of read into this trick of Oblivion, but man, it's getting kind of scary. It's Cloud9, they're still down 8,000 gold, but they're making plays. That's a testament to this team.
At this stage, it's kind of defensive, but like you look at Old School, he's got an Aegis, he's almost at that tier 3 armor item. You know, Joseph, he's also full there with the damage. You know, he just needs to upgrade his armor and get some more, you know, boots for himself. So where the gold actually is for Cloud9 is in places where maybe they can afford that gold difference, especially when you start hitting into this 40,000 mark. I kind of feel like it doesn't make too much of a difference as much because everyone has damage, right?
Well, at this point in the game, yeah, you're looking at 3 items, two and a half to 3 items, because Joseph's still, unfortunately, not quite hitting the 3 offensive mark yet.
Oh, right, yeah, no, sorry, it's heavy pism. So, yeah, no, you're right, actually. There is a bit of damage lacking for Cloud9, but hey, look at this. Cloud9, they're marching straight up into the base of Gankstars. We saw this before.
Hope they have a plan.
Let's see what happens. It's going to be Gankstars. It's almost deja vu, and actually, Gankstars will be able to rotate into a safer position. Cloud9 going to allow them to. Don't want to go for the fight. Shows that Cloud9 still not 100% confident that they can take every fight against Gankstars.
Like ships passing in the night right there. They just kind of pass each other. Not really any vision, but hey, they're not in lane anymore, so gotta be somewhere else. Kraken, third time the charm, perhaps, Dowsy. As a little bit of the vision game now gonna get played out.
Let's see here. One shot goes out, doesn't find anyone. Just looking for potential damage for Cloud9. They averted, dodged away from it. Infusion comes out for Gabe Bizzle's the only one who didn't have one, but now he does. Joseph's is winding down and he needs another 250 gold if he's going to purchase one.
So that gets hit by the afterburn, man. That's like, whoa, he is full red. Look at that.
Right. I guess the benefit of being a weapon power Kestrel is he can go invisible, but it's not for long, right? So even if he does take damage, he can proc it.
If he falls asleep, he's in trouble, I'll tell you that.
Sure. No one wants to fall asleep. No one should be falling asleep. This is Gankstars versus Cloud9, Game 3 here. Forecourt, how dare you suggest that we go to sleep.
I mean, Samuel's a convincing guy. You know, sometimes you just gotta. Now he's actually heading home. He got 500 gold. That's going to be another infusion. There it is. Just refreshing infusions at this point in the game. 50k earned here from Gankstars. But again, like the bigger numbers right now is you need to be starting to look at the objective numbers. Like 2 turrets left. With the Kraken up, could still go either way.
Well, let's see where this one does go. Some Malice and Verdicts flying out from Joseph as he looks for a bit of early poke. Gabe Vizzle, a little bit split from his team. He's taking a bit of damage. That's actually a defensive afterburn. Gangstar's going to feel a little bit more brave now. They can push up, look for a fight, and look at Rect. He's leading the charge. Will he be able to find an impale onto anyone? Who are they going for? Gabe Vizzle dives on in. That's Araki put into the middle of the fight. Wait for it, goes out. It only silences up Rect, but look at Araki. He's so low, and he's going to try and stealth away. The active camera keeps him alive. Can he go away? No! Old School finds the kill, and Xenotech's in trouble as well. Blocks that afterburn down, and actually that's enough to keep him alive for now, as they lost Old School in the process. Joseph looking for the damage, but Rex just blocking up Malice and Verdict after Malice and Verdict. And now Xenotech stuck in a drifting dark. That will be his fate sealed by Joseph. 2 kills to Cloud9, just the 1 for Gankstars, but where do we go from here?
I'm really hoping that wasn't a caster curse on Araki's, or it's like, hey, look, he's a great target to get hit by Afterburn. What does he do? Gets hit by Afterburn. Oh, dang. Not doing well here, Dowsy. But no armor.
That's not caster curse. That's just, you know, you understanding the game, man.
But I just don't feel like Araki, you know, is making that mistake. It felt very uncharacteristic for him to not expect Gabe Vizzle to kind of come for him like that. And even with that Aegis, he didn't block it, and you just saw him get absolutely murdered that fight.
Yeah, no, certainly did. Was able to survive long enough to do enough damage to Old School, which meant that Old School was very, you know, low towards the end of the fight. But man, this is just, you know, both teams tied up now 8-8. No one wants to go for that killing blow because day 2 is so important to both these teams to try and push themselves further into the standings. And everyone's so even now, you know, 6,000 gold doesn't seem like much, but
it doesn't matter at this point anymore.
It doesn't matter.
No.
We're at the
6,000 gold
mark.
is great at like 6 minutes. It's great at 15 minutes. It's not so great at 26 minutes because it just like the only thing that we've bought in the last 3-4 minutes is infusions. That's it. That's all we keep buying. I'm still looking at Rect, expecting him to have a reflex block amongst his inventory, but it's just pure flares. It's pure infusions. Nobody's even bothering with scout traps anymore except Gabe because he has that contraption. It's just rinse repeat. It's all about vision. It's all about footsies. It's all about making sure you have the power to end the game. And gold at this point is almost irrelevant.
Wow, Cloud9 actually committing to this? No, they're just doing a bit of damage to the Kraken, having a bit of fun, practicing their stutter stepping. There's the infusions coming out once more, but actually you look over towards this Gankstars roster. Rect doesn't have one. Maybe
not yet.
Just
No.
a little bit of damage that won't be
He needs more flares too, so they're going to check the bush. Rect is going to take the very long way around, but yeah, he's getting that infusion. He's going to get more flares. More than one. There we go. 5. There we go. And yeah, this is going to be rinse repeat.
You know, this is where Cloud9 won their first game in this series, was this kind of position. And they caught Gankstars rotating in, looking for a team fight. This time though, Gankstars, once more, the ships pass. They don't go for any, you know, cannons on the sides. No battles today. But the game continues. 28 minutes here for court. One fight to decide who wins this game, this series, and progresses.
And nobody wants to pull the trigger prematurely here. Nobody wants to be the reason that they lose this fight. So Cloud9, they push up. They're in this bush. They got 2 flares left here on top of Rex. Oh, they know anyways.
They're going to move in. Cloud9, they fall back. They still have to deal with the Crystal Sentry. It hasn't been completed. Old School, though, ooh, that was risky pathing. But Rect doesn't pull the trigger. Gankstars now moving up towards the Kraken here. There's the infusion from Joseph, re-infused coming forward. And now the glimmer shots are starting to come out.
Whoa.
Joseph, the Oblivion goes down. It's blocked on up, and Araki Zoro is still alive. Afterburn blocked up as well. Rect going in, but it's Old School on the front line, and Xenotech taking so much damage. He gets burst on down. Now Rect the target. There's the Afterburn. Araki will fall. Rect, can he escape? It doesn't seem likely. He walks onto the scout trap, and Joseph lands the killing blow. That should be GG here for Korn, as Gabe Vizzle, Old School, making their way towards this lane. They don't need no Kraken, they don't need no minions. Cloud9 looking for the second game against Gankstars, they won 2-0 in the semi-finals, and after a long, hard-fought series, a 29-minute Game 3, Cloud9 take their second win over Gankstars.
A long game of footsies, and I'd really have to get a replay on exactly how Xenotech really got chunked out there, because Gabe Vizzle went for Iraqi. Iraqi actually had himself a good